other than the love and the witnessing, one other thing is what, how did, I suppose, firstly, how did your feeling of spirit also give you comfort to go into that place inside that vulnerability? Because it's more than just the people, it's more than just me sitting in circle with you and the others that were there.
And I will answer the question, but I also at the same time would love to hear that question answered by you also.
Okay.
So I'm going to also just think for a minute, or feel in at least, to the answer for that. But if you have an answer right now, maybe you could speak it, if it's immediate for you.
Me. I think it's, of course, now she's asked the question, it's really difficult. Well, it's not difficult, but it is of course, it's a feeling. And we have to almost keep revisiting it. So it could just feel like a little spark initially. Could it be? Is it possible? Could spirit be there and holding me? So it's, and of course, like the mind is going to question it. And then it's just a sense of, wow, so many times in my life when I did feel such pain and such problems, that actually there really was something there holding me, despite me not actually really understanding it. And then once I could just let go of my intellect, it was almost like you just feel the energy, and then you start to get, it's like an amalgam, it becomes you, because I think it could feel like spirit is separate. And certainly coming from not being at all religious, it almost felt like spirit isn't you. But when we start to feel it and bring it in and really experience it, you can see that actually it is you. And it's all that, like we talked about, learning to know about your values and what is right for you. That becomes a listening to your own soul and a softening. Always a softening. Always a softening. And then nature would be my next thing, but that's probably a longer thing to be drawn into.
Interestingly, that was actually where I was going to begin with my answer. Listening to you, I was realizing, because for me, and this is different for everyone, right? But for me, that journey with spirit has actually been a very long one, and in different ways. Yet, okay, let me just go back to the nature bit first. Okay. Where I was struggling, as I've already said, was the kind of loving of myself, or and somewhere along the line, I remembered how much I love being in nature. I mean, in my 20s, I probably forgot how much I loved it. And then somewhere along the line, I remembered. And although I wasn't really deeply consciously connecting to nature, I had this real longing for it. And so at some point, I allowed that longing to lead the way. And I went and I sat and I noticed, and I just sort of set the intention to allow nature in more, and to like literally put it in my diary to go for walks and access nature more. And bit by bit, I remembered how much nature holds me, like how much balm I find in nature, and the balm is love, essentially. And so that really helped me, as well as the people in the circle, the humans in the circle. And then, you know, when you're quieting down in nature, then you get a feeling that you're not alone. You get a feeling that there's something holding you, like you were describing it. It just becomes kind of self-evident with it, bit by bit, but you sort of have to allow it, and you also have to look for it. And I remember at one point almost playing with it and being like, and like asking spirit to to show me signs, and there'd be feathers everywhere, or, you know, just little thing, playing like a child with it. And choosing to believe that all those feathers there were there for a reason, because I'd asked them to be, or, you know, it's a choosing to believe. It's like, do you want to live your life mundane or magical? I remember like entering into that inquiry. Because if you want to live your life magical, you've got to believe in magic. You've got to believe that you're held by something greater than yourself and all the rest of it.
But I might start crying. Oh,